Hello everyone and welcome back to the NPC Dungeon. Of course, I have another story for you all today, and of course, it follows the series that I'm telling right now on this channel. But before we start any of that, I just want to take some time real quick to thank everyone who watches this channel and all the stuff I do for all the amazing comments and activity. It really means a lot, and I really appreciate it. I also wanted to say that I just got back from a bit of a break from making videos. Of course, I had a bunch ready and scheduled to post in my absence, but because of all of that, this week's videos might be a little bit shorter than usual, but I hope you still enjoy them. And aside from all of that, you might have noticed that I'm trying a bit of a new kind of thing with my short videos. I'm adding more visuals to them, so feel free to check that out. But that's it for all of my announcements today, so let's move on to the story. So what happened? Well, to begin, this story is the latest in a series that I've been telling lately on this channel, so if you need a refresher or just want to catch up, I'll leave a link below and a card up above to the playlist it is on for your convenience if you're at all curious. But if not, we'll begin with a quick recap and then move on with the story. We left off last time with Alice, the rogue cleric Kitsune, Inky, the mushroom folk sorcerer warlock, Seraphina, the paladin angel, my only player who did not multiclass this campaign, and Subject 66, the B-Rex druid rogue. Honestly, I never get tired of saying those characters. They are very imaginative and fun, and I'm so happy I got to run a campaign for them. Seraphina was briefly separated from the group after solving the mystery of a murder she was occupied with at the beginning of the campaign. The group reconvened after the rest solved a puzzle in a factory of NOLA workers ran by mind flayer managers. Alice's patron god Mortaz came to the forefront as the party learned that he was locked inside the stone they were sent to find, or at least that Inky was sent to find by her mentor, the wizard Verperos Galfo. And after besting a number of spiders in an old abandoned catacombs, they heard a feminine voice calling to them, different from the voice of the elder brain of this mind flayer colony they heard earlier on, and since they saw no way around, they took the elevator in the back of the room up and proceeded forward. And this is where we begin. As they were all cramped up in this tiny gated elevator, Alice felt a tension in her stomach, almost a weight, as if it was being turned inside out. Then it was all released as she turned her head around to see another tail sprouting out from behind her. It was such a simple and absurd little moment, but it's still one of my favorites from this campaign. This player and I had previously worked out a system where this kitsune grows a new tail at certain levels based off something my player found on D&D Beyond. Alice had just leveled up after a previous session, so she grew a new tail. The only thing that we didn't work out was how exactly this happened. No one and everyone was disappointed. Seraphina tried to ignore it and not acknowledge what had just happened, while the others didn't want to just gloss past it. Alice was just as confused as anyone, but they would all have to wait as the elevator completed its ascent and came to a stop. The door slid open, revealing a wide open, cavernous room around them, too large for the walls to be seen, and too precipitous for the ground to be made out beneath them. The only ground in front of them was a long, narrow bridge, barely wide enough for even one of them to stand upon. They looked out first before they stepped, Alice noticing what appeared to be broken scaffolding filling the spaces all around them, and it looked like the silvery strands of webbing not too far below, just barely glistening in the dim light, as Subject 66 made out countless little pinholes carved into the walls on either side. Likely traps, he said, or rather, he buzzed, and everyone else somehow understood what he meant. We decided to play this very much like R2-D2, and the joke never got old. But Inky remembered the voice that had called them there. Who's there? She spoke bravely into the darkness, her voice finding purchase on the wide echoing walls. A pair of deep red eyes flashed before them as a long spindly leg stretched out and wrapped itself around the bridge they were on. Then another, then 6 more. The arachnoid form crawled forward and twisted around the bridge, sliding beneath its underside, around and then back on top, arriving face to face with the party. They could all see her now. They watched her segmented form twitch with movement as the elvish torso attached to it stooped down, revealing long, stringy gray hair, crooked teeth set with spikes and jagged edges laid waste by years of decay, and a pair of bright red eyes. He sent you, she said, her voice practically a hoarse whisper. Who? Inky snapped before the woman could finish, but she already knew the answer. The drider snapped forward, inches from Inky's face within a fraction of a second. Galfo, she screeched, before backing away slowly, but Inky didn't move an inch. She also wasn't the next one to speak. Galfo, Subject 66 buzzed. He remembered the experiments he had to endure when he was created. He remembered escaping. Why did this name seem to follow him? You'd better not anger him, Inky warned. Now tell us what the wizard has to do with us. My pleasure. The drider spoke as if the words oozed from her voice. You should know, you weren't the first to be sent here. None of the others survived, and they weren't the first either. I was. He betrayed me many years ago. Thick as thieves were him and I, and good thieves we were. He found me, an outcast of the cult of Lolth. I had already undergone the transformation before rejecting them, and being cast out in the world where no one wanted me. He took me in and trained me. The stone was our most recent quarry. We found it, but he took it and left me for dead. With my last bit of strength, I was barely able to take it back. I was taken in done by others like me, other outcasts in this religious sanctuary, and I headed away here. But he eventually came back, found that I supposed, and laid waste to the temple that this once was. I created a magic barrier to seal him off from it, but when I cast him out, he did the same to the way, locking me inside and from it. She gestures forward. Once a generation, a group is chosen to come in and try to take it back from me. I guess you are that group. You can try, but you'll have to get past me. She bared her jagged teeth and leaned back, ready for a fight, but none came. Instead, Inky's voice rang out. Galfo already lied to me about the stone. She gestured to Subject 66 and tortured this one. We won't fight you. We're done being his pawns. Seraphina nodded, not even trying to hide the pride on her face, and Alice shrugged. Sounds good to me. The Drider cocked her head. You wish to fight him then? No, said Inky. We wish to kill him. The Drider turned around, but her voice still echoed around them. Then come with me. He will be here. We will prepare, and he will fall. She turned to them one final time before they continued on. Thank you, she said, and they dared not question the painfully genuine nature of her voice. And that's where I'm ending this one. It was a fun and very tense encounter to run, and I hope you all enjoyed it as well. As always, thanks so much for watching. Feel free to check out this week's DM Advice episode. It's all about how I am currently planning for sessions and my current methods for all of that. Also, come back next week where we'll see how this unlikely alliance continues on and learn all about how I take notes as a DM. Again, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, let's learn something.